Hey everyone, Doug here again, and this is going to be my January 11th video on my Dimension Extreme videos that I own, DVDs, I mean, and it's just basically the ones that I do own and that I would recommend, because I have actually gotten a lot of comments from some people asking me, what's some of the other Dimension Extreme films that you would own or check out. So I'm going to show off the ones that I own, and I guess you all can make your own opinions or think about checking them out. But the ones that I own, I do like a lot. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one because I just did it in a review, or not a review, but a DVD update, and it's basically the sequel, which I haven't watched yet, but it is a Dimension Extreme film, so I'll go ahead and mention it. Feast 2, Sloppy Seconds. I haven't watched it, but I am a big fan of the first one, so I'll probably do a review on this movie once I watch it. So, but yeah, it's a Dimension Extreme. Okay, I'll save my two favorite for last of these films that I do own. So I will go ahead and start with Dimension Extreme's Automation Transfusion, unrated and undead. Um, Not the best zombie movie in the world, but it was a lot of fun. Very low budget though. But it's a really short movie too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's only 75 minutes, but it's pure zombie all the way through. I mean, once the movie gets going, it gets going. Um, One website said the holy grail of true independent horror films. There's a comment on the front from bloodydisgusting.com, says one of the best zombie films in decades. I don't know if I would agree with that totally, but it was a lot of fun and it was very low budget, but it is, overall still a good movie. But it was actually a lot of fun. I'll go ahead and read the back. Featuring the leanest, meanest, and fastest zombies ever filmed, Automation Transfusion is a non-stop horror masterpiece that pushes the outer envelope of on-screen violence. As a group of teenagers fight an army experiment gone AWOL, hordes of hungry, flesh-eating undead surge through their town, ripping jaws, snapping bodies, and devouring men, women, and children. Definitely not for the faint of heart. Automation Transfusion is a completely brutal gore fest that shockingly redefines the zombie genre. I would say check this one out. I know that I think it's Walmart. I've seen this ad for maybe it's either $10 or $12 now. I think I bought this when it first came out. It was like $15, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So Automation Transfusion, I would say check that one out. Um, the next one, the next one is called Storm Warning, and it's the unrated version, and it's from the director of Urban Legend. Um, this one was pretty fun. It has a typical little setup. Um, One critic says a great thrill ride, loads of scares and loads of gore. Um, but I would say check this one out. It's basically about this couple that stumbles upon this family out in the woods type setting, and basically become prey. Typical setup for a horror movie, but it was a lot of fun, and I will go ahead and read the back. From the director of Urban Legend comes this terrifying trip into the depths of humanity and depravity. When a storm forces a couple to land their sailboat far ashore, they stumble upon a remote island inhabited by a demented father and his psychotic sons. Captured, beaten, and sexually enslaved, the couple turns the tables in a bloody fight for survival, featuring some of the most intensely brutal scenes imaginable. Storm Warning never lets up and builds towards a shocking finish. I would definitely check this one out. It's a lot of fun. This one is 84 minutes. Special features are a commentary from the filmmakers, the theatrical trailer, and a teaser trailer. It is in 5.1. Automation Transfusion has deleted scenes, a couple making ofs, a commentary. It's 75 minutes, and it's in widescreen, and it's in 5.1. So far, definitely check out these two. The next one, me and Brian actually stumbled upon this from another DVD, and how on DVDs they show trailers for other movies and stuff. But this is Dimension Extreme's unrated Black Sheep. There are 40 million sheep in New Zealand, and they're all pissed off. Very far-fetched, but that's exactly what this movie's all about, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously whatsoever. But it's basically killer sheep. I've never seen killer sheep before, so I was like, okay, that could be something new. AintItCoolNews.com said possibly the single best midnight movie of its era. Um, it was a lot of fun. It was a horror comedy, basically. It's 83 minutes, 5.1. It's got deleted scenes, commentary, bloopers, making of, and the trailer. And the back says, riff with bloody gore and funny gags. Black Sheep is gruesomely twisted horror comedy about mutant flesh-eating sheep run amok in rural New Zealand. When sheep anaerobic Henry, oh, sorry, when sheep-ophobic, he's afraid of sheep, sorry, Henry returns to sell his share of a family farm, he finds his brother has been genetically altering the animals. The resulting monsters go on a murderous rampage, and it's up to Henry to stop them. With frighteningly grotesque effects, conistry of Peter Jackson's WETA workshop, Black Sheep is a frenzy of served limbs and maniac mutant definitely not for the weak of stomach. Elizabeth Winstead of New York Daily said. Definitely check out Black Sheep. It's a horror comedy, but it's a lot of fun. The next one I actually just did a review for, and you can check that out if you've seen it, because I do give spoilers, so halfway through you'll probably have to turn it off if you haven't seen it, or if you want to know the spoilers, I guess keep watching. But this one's Eden Lake. Basically a couple goes out for a romantic getaway to this remote lake in the wooded area, and basically fall prey and are victimized by a group of local teenagers in a small town. It was a lot of good. It was actually really good, but it's really intense and kind of sad in some parts. But the back says, like a bad dream turned worst nightmare. Eden Lake is a relentlessly tense, immaculate-paced horror thriller about modern youth gone wild. When a young When a young couple goes into a remote wooded lake for a romantic getaway, their quiet weekend is shattered by an aggressive group of local kids. Rowdiness quickly turns to rage as the teens terrorize the couple in unimaginable ways, and a weekend outing becomes a bloody battle for survival. Fierce, thought-provoking, and genuinely shocking. Definitely check out Eden Lake. It's really good. And then the last one is probably my favorite that I own of the Dimension Extreme films, and it is a very nasty, very brutal movie, very graphic. It's probably one of the more violent and disgusting films I've owned and have seen, actually. This is Dimension Extreme's Inside. Bloody Disgusting says it's one of the scariest movies they've ever seen in my life. It's probably one of the goriest movies I've seen in my life. Not the scariest, though. It's basically about the main woman. I forgot her name, but this is a French film too, by the way. She's pregnant. She's living quietly alone. I guess she doesn't have a husband. Oh no, he dies in a car accident at the very beginning. They establish all this, and basically that's what happened to him. And I'll go ahead and read the back. Very brutal movie. It's good though, but very brutal. Get ready for the most gruesome, terrifying, and disturbing film you've ever seen. 4 months after pregnant Sarah loses her husband in a horrific in an auto accident, she is visited on Christmas Eve by a mysterious mad woman. Alone and desperate to save her unborn child, Sarah fights to stay alive, as each of her potential rescuers die at the woman's sadistic hands. With scenes after scene of shocking carnage, Inside delivers unbelievably realistic gore that dares you not to look away. I'd have to agree with that. I mean, there are some scenes in this movie that are just like, whoa! And, but definitely check out Inside. This one's actually a little hard to find because I got this at Walmart when it first came out, but I heard that they took them all out of store because of its content, and Walmart's all about, getting the edited stuff and don't really thinking about carrying unrated stuff, so unless that's the only way it comes. But I would say check this out. It's very graphic, it's very bloody, and it's just intense. It is a French film, but there is 5.1 English dubbed, so you don't have to listen to French or read subtitles, which is always a good thing. This one is 82 minutes, and it does start off a little slow, but give it a chance, and it gets worse. And but basically, that is my Dimension Extreme films that I would recommend. So I hope everyone enjoyed this film, and I will talk to everyone soon.